Number 10. Carnival in Brazil isn't an event, it's a transformation. The moment it begins, reality shifts. Streets melt into stages, sidewalks disappear under bodies, and the air thickens with music, sweat, and something unspoken permission. For days, the nation lets go of itself, or maybe it reveals its truest form. In Rio, the Sambadrome flashes with choreographed beauty, thousands of dancers in feathers and fire, but the rawest parts happen outside. On the streets, in the blocos, that's where the drums throb like a second heartbeat and strangers collide like waves. People don't just celebrate, they surrender to rhythm, to desire, to each other. This is not controlled chaos. It's guided freedom. There are rules, but they're invisible. Social status dissolves. Flirting becomes fluent. What's private becomes public. And yet, there's no fear, just presence. Every step is both protest and pleasure. Brazilians don't hide the body, they lead with it. The skin is not shameful, the dance is not suggestive, it's honest. And during Carnival, even modesty wears sequins. You don't just watch Carnival, you're swallowed by it. And when it's over, something inside you misses the wildness. The truth of it, to outsiders, it's excess. To Brazilians, it's ritual. Faith without silence, joy without filter, lust without guilt. A moment when the country collectively stops pretending and starts living. Vendors hand out caipirinhas in plastic cups, kids throw confetti at passing dancers, and elders watch from doorsteps, not as spectators, but as veterans. This isn't a youth movement, it's generational. Grandmothers wear glitter, toddlers know the beat. Families march together, wrapped in the same wild pulse. Everyone belongs. And beneath all the color, there's contradiction. Carnival opens just before Lent, a time of denial. The holiest calendar moment is preceded by total indulgence. It's almost too perfect, a sin before the silence. But in Brazil, that's not hypocrisy, that's balance. You confess, but only after you've lived fully. Every year, politicians try to regulate it. They debate noise levels, traffic closures, budgets. But the people always win. You can't legislate ecstasy, you can only survive it. When Carnival ends, it leaves a silence that feels unnatural. The streets feel wider, the air thinner. People return to work, to clothes, to rules. But something lingers, a glitter flake behind the ear, a beat still echoing in the chest, a stranger's name you forgot, but remember how they danced. Because Carnival doesn't really end, it just sleeps. And the whole country counts the days until they can sin again, out loud, together, under the sun. In Brazil, some call it madness, others call it magic, but everyone agrees it's necessary. Number 9. On the beaches of Brazil, the body isn't hidden, it's highlighted. The shoreline becomes a stage, and everyone, regardless of age or background, participates. Tiny bikinis and tight swim trunks are not a fashion statement. They're uniform, expected, understood. In Brazil, modesty doesn't mean covering up, it means being comfortable enough to be seen. This attitude goes deeper than clothing. Brazil has one of the highest rates of plastic surgery in the world, not just among the wealthy, but across all social classes. It's not uncommon for a domestic worker to save for years to get a procedure. Enhancing the body is seen not as vanity, but as ambition, as necessity. Curves are celebrated. Toned legs, sculpted abs, and lifted butts dominate not just Instagram, but real life. Outdoor gyms line the beaches. People exercise with intention, under the sun, as if the world is watching, because it often is. Appearance isn't superficial here. It's a kind of language. It says you care, you try, you belong. But with pride comes pressure. The pursuit of perfection is relentless. Social media amplifies expectations. Telenovelas and beauty contests set impossible standards. For every body admired, there's another being quietly judged. And yet, it's not about impressing others. It's about power, about presence. In a society where chaos and inequality are constant, the body becomes one of the few things people can shape, control, and define. In Brazil, beauty is not just seen, it's performed, claimed, defended. And every body on the beach, whether surgically sculpted or naturally owned, tells a story of survival, strategy, and self-worth. Here, the body isn't something to hide. It's how you show the world you exist. Number 8. Walk through any Brazilian city and you'll feel it before you see it. The ease with which people move, smile, touch, exist. Sensuality here isn't hidden in shadows. It lives on the streets, in the swing of a hip, in the way strangers make eye contact and hold it. In Brazil, desire isn't taboo, it's a language. Public affection is everywhere, and no one blinks. Couples kiss with intensity on street corners, friends embrace with warmth that borders on intimate. What might be whispered elsewhere is lived out loud here. This isn't provocation, it's presence. Brazilians live in their bodies, fully, and they expect others to do the same. The clothing reflects it, not out of rebellion, but out of comfort. Short skirts, plunging necklines, bare torsos. It's the climate, yes, but also the culture. Looking good and showing skin isn't about seduction, it's about confidence. To feel attractive isn't shameful, it's expected. Even the way people dance blurs the line between the sensual and the sacred. Samba and funk aren't performances, they're expressions. To move is to release something deeper than words. Children learn the rhythm before they learn grammar, and by the time they're grown, their bodies speak fluently. But this openness doesn't mean anything goes. There are boundaries, spoken and unspoken. Brazilian women, especially, navigate this landscape with sharp instinct. They know how to engage and how to deflect, how to own attention without surrendering to it. There's power in the performance, strength in the softness. To many outsiders, Brazil looks like a place obsessed with sex. But that's too simple. What Brazil really offers is a different relationship to the body. One that says we are allowed to feel, to want, to move, and we don't have to hide it. Number 7. Brazil's nightlife pulses with contradiction. The streets glow with neon, the bass from underground clubs spills onto sidewalks, and rooftop bars brim with laughter that competes with the sound of distant sirens. It feels like freedom, and it is, until it isn't. In cities like Rio and São Paulo, the night comes alive in ways both thrilling and unpredictable. Entire districts are built around nightlife. Lapa's arches hum with music, and beachside kiosks blur into dance floors. It's a place where you can sip caipirinhas until sunrise, kiss a stranger, and forget what day it is. But the lines between legal and illegal, safe and dangerous, are blurry. Drugs move quietly through parties. Some are casual weed, pills, powder passed hand to hand. Others more sinister. And behind the scenes, a shadow economy operates with precision. Dealers know who to trust. Police know when to look away. This ambiguity isn't hidden, it's accepted. The unspoken rule is, enjoy yourself, but stay alert. Brazilians know the cues, how to leave before it turns, how to sense when a vibe shifts. Tourists often don't, and that's when things unravel. Still, the energy is magnetic. Music binds people together. Strangers become dance partners. Friends are made fast. There's something sacred in the chaos. Something that says, life is hard, but for now, we'll dance through it. It's freedom, but fragile. Beautiful, but breakable. And every night, Brazilians roll the dice because sometimes joy is worth the risk. Number 6. In Brazil, faith doesn't live in silence. It sings, dances, and wears white. Spirituality here is loud, physical, and rooted in centuries of mixing. Walk through Salvador or Recife and you'll find altars tucked beside butcher shops, candles flickering on sidewalks, drums echoing from homes. This is the realm of Candomblé, an Afro-Brazilian religion born from resistance. Enslaved Africans weren't allowed to worship their gods, so they hid them behind Catholic saints. What emerged wasn't a compromise, it was a new language of belief, one where Iemanjá, goddess of the sea, might also be Our Lady of the Conception. One where drumming is prayer and trance is communication. People don't just believe, they embody. Rituals involve song, dance, possession. Spirits are invited in, not feared. The body becomes sacred ground. Faith, in this context, isn't abstract, it's alive. It sweats, it spins, it shouts. Candomblé is often misunderstood. To outsiders, it can look like superstition or spectacle. But for millions, it's identity, healing, community. And while it exists in the shadows of Brazil's Catholic majority, it's growing especially among the young, the Black, and the disillusioned. The religion teaches balance between forces, between ancestors and present, between body and spirit. It doesn't demand purity, it welcomes contradiction. That's why it fits so naturally here. In a country where Carnival and prayer share the calendar, Candomblé doesn't feel out of place. It feels like home, a reminder that in Brazil, even the divine likes to dance. Number 5. In Brazil, the line between law and loophole is paper thin and everyone knows it. Rules exist, but they bend, break, or vanish if you know the right person, say the right thing, or pay the right fee. Corruption isn't whispered, it's joked about, memed, accepted, like bad weather. Politicians steal, police take bribes, bureaucracy drags. People complain, but few are shocked. It's not apathy, it's realism. This flexibility runs through daily life. Need something fast? Know someone. Want to build where you shouldn't? Talk to the inspector. Can't pay a fine? Negotiate. Everything from traffic tickets to tax breaks has a price or a shortcut. Some call it survival, others rot. But when inequality runs deep, informal systems often work better than official ones. When the state fails, people rely on favors, trust, and exchange. It's corruption and also community. Yet this culture erodes trust. Rules lose meaning. Those without connections stay stuck. For the poor, there are no favors, just silence. Still, Brazilians persist with humor and hustle. They find ways, bend reality until it lets them through. There's even a word for it, jeitinho, the little way. In Brazil, it's not just what you know, it's who and how well you dance around the rules. Number 4. Brazil wears joy like a second skin, but beneath it lies tension. The country sells sun, music, celebration, all true. But so are the violence and fear. In many favelas, safety isn't a right, it's a privilege. These hillside communities pulse with color and culture, yet live with gunfire nearby. Gangs, militias, and police clash for power, while ordinary people endure between them. Tourists rarely see this, except through a bus window. But for millions, it's daily life. Neighborhoods defend their own, mothers raise streetwise kids, families live with one foot in joy, the other in caution. From this tension, art is born. Samba, funk, karaoke beauty, and defiance, rising from danger. Where life is uncertain, expression becomes survival. People here smile wide and dance hard not because life is easy, but because it isn't. The joy is real, so is the darkness. They coexist, like night and neon. In Brazil, you can't have one without the other. Number 3. In Brazil, the role of women is a paradox. Powerful, yet objectified. Central, yet underestimated. Telenovelas show the archetypes: sensual, maternal, fierce. On the streets, it's the same. Women walk with confidence, but always aware, eyes follow, voices comment, attention flatters and threatens. Machismo runs deep, cultural, generational. Men are raised to pursue, women to endure. But that's changing. Feminist movements grow loud and local. Women claim space in politics, art, and protests, flooding Avenida Paulista. Still, contradictions persist. Carnival glorifies female beauty, but harassment spikes. Objectification becomes routine. Yet women don't shrink. They answer back, shine brighter, fight harder. There's a word, mulherão, a woman who owns her presence, not just looks, but strength. The kind who commands a room without asking. In a society that still divides women virgin or vixen, mother or muse, Brazilian women rewrite the script daily, with humor, defiance, and style. Here, femininity isn't soft, it's armor, and those who wear it move with rhythm, fire, and no apologies. Number 2. Brazil is one of the most racially diverse nations and one of the most unequal. Over half the country identifies as black or mixed, yet power stays mostly white. The legacy of slavery isn't gone, it hums quietly in the background. In Sao Paulo's malls, most shoppers and clerks are white. Outside, those cleaning and sweeping are not. In favelas, the racial divide becomes unmistakable. Brazil avoids open talk about race, clinging to the myth of racial democracy. If everyone mixes, racism can't exist. But silence erases struggle and gaslights pain. Still, Afro-Brazilian culture thrives through defiance, samba, capoeira, funk. Blackness here is not just lived, but celebrated. A new generation refuses to stay quiet. They reclaim curls once straightened, wear brown skin with pride, demand presence in schools, offices, and power. In Brazil, race is everywhere, even when unspoken, and the voices once ignored are now impossible to silence. Number 1. Brazil's sensual image isn't just carnival or bikinis, it's also sex. Real, raw, and commercialized. The country hosts one of the world's biggest sex industries, visible yet hidden in plain sight. Prostitution is legal, brothels are not. But as usual, law and practice diverge. In Copacabana's red glow or Recife's alleys, quiet economies thrive. Hotels look away, taxi drivers know. Everyone plays a part. Sex tourism draws foreigners chasing what's forbidden or connection. Some workers choose it, others are forced by poverty. Pride bends where hunger begins. Still, not all is shadow. Some organize, educate, protect each other, small circles of care in a system that ignores them. For most, the topic stays taboo. Brazil sells sensuality but can't face its exploitation. Catholic guilt wrestles carnival freedom. Sex becomes both symbol and symptom of freedom, inequality, and the country itself. Beautiful, dangerous, impossible to look away from. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more insightful videos.